안녕하세요, 여러분. 오늘은 lesson 10, future tense conjugations are what we're going to be learning. So let's go ahead and get started. And when this video is finished, I'll leave the link for you. So just like all the conjugating we've been doing, I'll show you my step-by-step process for conjugating future tense. So step one is to remove the da from the verb. First step, we always want to remove the da, and by doing that, I mean we're gonna get our verb stem by itself. Remember, the verb stem, I'll do an example. The verb stem is what you get after you take the da off. So ip from ipta, it means to wear. Ip by itself, that's the verb stem. Okay, now from the verb stem, the second step usually in conjugating is to look at the last vowel, the last letter. In this one in particular, we're just going to look at the letter. I'll actually capitalize that so we know not the vowel but the last letter. And then our step 3 is going to consist of attaching the correct ending. Now, if the last letter in the verb stem, the last letter ends with a consonant versus if the last letter ends with a vowel, the ending will be different. So if it ends with a consonant, it will become 올 것이다. And if it doesn't, we'll just have the one L at the bottom plus 것이다. 릴 것이다. Okay, and the example I'm going to be using here, 입다. So we took off the da already. So the next thing we need to do, determine the last letter. In this case, it's B, and B, that's a consonant. So that means we're going to need to use this ending. 입을 것이다. So altogether, 입을 것이다. Now, as you can probably tell, this ending isn't complete because this also has a da on it, which means we need to conjugate it as well. That ida ending there, we have to conjugate that too. So I'll show you the different endings that we have. We have formal, and it's the same old ending that we know and love, the 핍니다 ending. So 것입니다, like that. So here's our casual / polite ending, 거예요, and that's the same 예요 that we learned for the noun lesson from Ida. 거예요, not 것이에요, but just 거예요. And informal is going to be 거야. So 것입니다, 거예요, and 것이다 ending. Sometimes Korean people will write it like this, 겁니다, just because it's a little bit shorter. Korean people oftentimes, if they can find a way to make something shorter, they'll do it. So you might see it written this way. Okay, and I will show you my example written in each formality. So 입을 것입니다, I will wear. 입을 거예요, I will wear. 입을 거야, I will wear. Alright, I will wear. Okay, that's all we need to know. So I think I'm going to make some example sentences here for you guys to take a look at. 그들은 내일 우리 집에서 영화를 볼 것입니다. So break it down. 그들, they as in a group of people. 그들은. So you couldn't use this as if you wanted to be like gender neutral, how we can be in English. Instead of saying he or she, we might just say they. You can't do that with this, where this means specifically, more than one person. So 그들 is our topic. 내일, we have to put the time first and then the place. So tomorrow, we know we do not put any time marking particle on it. 내일, like in English, we don't say on tomorrow, we just say tomorrow. 우리 집. So this 우리 집, I put it in the sentence to mean my house. 우리 집. So same as the 우리 when we're saying my mom, my dad, we can also use that, or we should also use that for houses. When we're saying my house, 우리 집, makes sense. You can also say 제 집 as well, but 우리 집 is more common way to say. 우리 집에서, we use 에서 because we're doing an action in our house. And 영화 means movie. 영화 is our object. And then our verb at the end is 보다, 볼 것입니다. And 보다, we take off the da. The last letter is O, a vowel, so we just need the L at the bottom. 볼 것입니다. And I have this one formally conjugated. So altogether, they tomorrow at our house or at my house, movie will watch. They will watch a movie at my house tomorrow. I'm gonna leave it blank in case anyone wants to try it on their own and not get spoiled with the answers. So number 2, 그녀는 나중에 언니랑 놀 거야. 그녀 means she or her, and then 나중에 means later. 언니 means older sister, but it's only used by females. So if you're a woman or a girl and you want to refer to your older sister, you'll say 언니. But guys, when they refer to their older sister, it's 누나. So 언니랑 with older sister. So with her older sister. So 랑 means with. 언니랑. And then 놀다. 놀다, we learned it as to play, but it can also actually mean to hang out with someone. So 놀 거야, they will hang out. She will hang out with her older sister later. Number 3, 지민이는 내년에 대학교에서 영어를 배울 거예요. 지민이는. So the person's name is not Jiminy. Their name is just Jimin. But I put it like this to show you that this happens a lot in Korean as well. If someone has a name like this, they might add that extra E part right there. Jimin이는, because they like when you're saying someone's name, they like for it to end with that nin instead of un sometimes. So they might add E before it. 이는, 지민이는. You may have heard, if you seen things in Korean, you might hear them call someone's name and add an E to it. Jiminy or Jimina, they might add an A to it. We're not going to say Jimina, though. That's only when you're only saying that one person's name. 내년에, next year. We have our time marking particle. 대학교 is college or university. 에서, because an action took place at the university. 영어 is English, 영어, and that's our object, because that's the object of the verb. What will Jimin learn? He will learn 영어, English. So 영어를, and 배울 거예요. Same rules as last time. It ends with a vowel, so we did the L at the bottom, 를, and then 거예요. This time I used a casual. 영어를 배울 거예요. Jimin will learn English in university next year. Okay. Number 4. 자기야, 우리는 오늘 밤 데이트를 할 거야? So 자기 is a term of endearment that couples use often. You may have heard if you like to watch K-dramas, but 자기야. So, honey, 우리는, we, that's our topic, we are the topic. 오늘 밤, 오늘 means today, and 밤 means night. Today plus night equals tonight. And we could actually put 에 on this one. We can't put 에 on 오늘, but we can put 에 on 오늘 밤. But you can also leave it out. And we have 데이트. What will we do? We will go on a date. Or do a date. If you're being literal, 데이트를 할 거야. Could you keep them close together and get rid of the word and just say 데이트 할 거야? Technically, yes, you can. But Koreans, most of the time, they want to break it up to its own separate things. Okay, and the last one, number 5. 나는 내가 내 파티에 예쁜 드레스를 입을 거야. Okay, another informal. I just realized I did a lot of informal this time, which is okay. So 나는, usually what we've been doing so far is just 저는. So this is our informal version of 저는. 나는. So you can't use 나는 in a formal sentence. You may sometimes see 나는 used in a casual sentence, but that's up to you. I would say that's personal preference thing. So 나는, Megan, Megan, 에. That 에 is another particle. It's called a possessive particle. It's like adding an apostrophe S. Megan's party. So she owns the party in that way. Megan's party. To Megan's party, 예쁜 드레스를, a pretty dress, 입을 거야. I will wear a pretty dress to Megan's party. So far, when we want to say, like even up here earlier, when we were talking about our house or my house, 우리 집, you see this, we left a space there. But technically, this is what should be there. 에, 우리의 집, 우리의 집. But also, Koreans leave it off. They actually leave off a lot of particles when speaking, but for now, we have to learn the particles first, of course, before we can just leave them off. But yes, so we left the particle off here. Sometimes it gets left off. We could easily say Megan party, and that would be fine too. If you're speaking out loud, that would be fine too. But Megan의 party, I just want to let you know in case you see that particle and you know what it means and how it's used. And then you might think this is weird because the adjectives and the verbs, they're always supposed to go at the end of a sentence, right? This is a little bit different. And this is something that you'll learn a little bit later on in learning Korean. You can use adjectives and verbs to describe nouns. So this is what we did here. We used the adjective 예쁘다 to describe the noun in front of it, dress, 드레스. 예쁜 드레스. All right, so I took some time to write out a list of 20 different verbs. I'm going to conjugate a few in this video, and then in the lesson you can go back and conjugate the rest of them for yourself. But what I'm going to do first, 하다. So 하다, take off the da, ends with a vowel, so we know we need the L. 할, and it's formal, so we need 것입니다 ending. 할 것입니다 will do. 할 거예요 will do. 할 거야 will do. So like I said, it's always going to be those three endings. You only need to focus on the L and the ul part. So 배우다, it's the same. Take off the da. It ends with a vowel, so we want to need to put the ul. 것입니다. 배울 것입니다. 배울 것입니다. 배울 거예요. 배울 거야. 배울 거야. 찾다. Notice that pronunciation. 찾다. I have those two consonants right next to each other, the J and the D, so the sound can't pass through. 찾다. So I need to remove the da first. Our last letter is a consonant, so we need the 올, 것이다 ending this time. So 찾을, notice the J sound is carried over in this case since we have the U. That's not a right way to say it. The J gets carried over in this case because it's a right next to it, a vowel right next to it. 찾을 것입니다. 찾을 것입니다 will find. 찾을 거예요. 찾을 거예요 will look for or will find. 찾을 거야 will find. 먹다. Take off the da. The last letter is a gyuk consonant, so we need ul again. 먹을 것입니다. 먹을 거예요 and ending 먹을 거야. Okay, so I'll skip down. Here's one. we can go to the very end to 놀다. Okay, 놀다. So take off the da. We have the last letter is a consonant, but more importantly, it's an 릴, an L/R. So that means we don't need to add anything else. We're not going to say 노를. We're not going to do that. It has its own special rule, which means we just add the end, the 것이다 part. 놀 것입니다. 놀 거예요 and 놀 거야. So when you come across a verb that ends with an L before the da, you just need to add the 것이다 part to the ending. Now for the rest of these, I'm going to leave them blank for you guys to do on your own. And in the homework I'm sending next, you'll also get some more conjugations. So do not shy away from the conjugation charts. Some people love to conjugate, some people hate it, but what you really don't want to do, especially if you do hate it, is to not do it. Because if you are not repetitive with your conjugations, you'll forget it and you have to relearn it over and over again. So I would just get as much conjugation practice as I can in with every tense. Honestly, I think that'll be in the next homework too. It'll be conjugation with every tense we've learned so far, just because you have to be repetitive with it to keep it in your head. And if you want something else to do, I am going to put like 3 sentences down here so that you can practice translating sentences using the future tense as well. But for now, that's it. And you can come check the lesson later if you want to see the sentences